Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Ryan Nelson on Rooster AM. Today on the show, we're sitting down with red dirt country artist Jase Holtom, a storyteller with a voice as real as the dirt roads that he sings about, with songs that cut straight to the heart and a sound rooted in that independent Okie scene. Jase brings a rare mix of grit, soul, and honesty that country music was built on and what country music needs today. Whether he's playing in a small town stage or writing tunes, you just feel like home when you're listening to his music. Jase is the kind of artist who reminds us of why we fell in love with country music in the first place. Let's welcome him to the show. How are you doing today, Jase?
Doing awesome, man. Thank you for having me.
It's good having you. And I know that we've tried this once and we failed, so hopefully we can do this again. And it was my fault.
Everything happens for a reason, I think.
We got about 10 minutes into our conversation and the lights flickered, and I didn't even know what that meant. But what I found out later was we lost internet connection.
Oh, no.
We lost everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that really stunk.
That was storming and all that,
it
so,
was. It was a pretty rough
yeah.
day. So if you guys don't know Jase, he's a country singer here in Oklahoma. I don't limit him to as a local country singer because he's more than just Enid. He's all over the place. And he's part of that red dirt country scene. What does that mean to you, red dirt, personally? How does that make you feel personally as an artist?
Personally, for me, red dirt, honestly, the only thing I associate red dirt with is Oklahoma music. There's a fine line between red dirt and that Oklahoma music scene, and then what I'd like to call the Texas rock and roll.
Right.
But they both places kind of shake hands in the middle at the Red River. But for me, red dirt has always meant Oklahoma music.
Yeah, I mean, the history of the red dirt says it started in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it started, and it just navigated south. And they say it's kind of like a little bit of North Texas, but almost all Oklahoma. It's like a true Oklahoma sound, and it's really cool. Like it, because I didn't know how to describe it when you listen to red dirt music. Because it takes you in different places, but it's like Americana,
Mm-hmm.
folk, southern rock, country, soul combined into one.
Yeah. No,
that is a very,
hit it right on the head.
That is a very strange genre, but it's good and it's a little bit different. How do you see yourself different from Nashville and Texas?
For us, we're all Oklahoma boys. Everybody's lived here their whole lives. We're not just a band put together from different states, for a record label or something. We're all Oklahoma. We have roots here. We're born and raised here. I think we're pushing more towards the rock and roll side of things, but we all love country music and outlaw country, and red dirt just kind of bridges the gap for everybody. It's a happy medium for all my metalheads that are in my band, so they like it. So.
Yeah, I feel like what it is, it's almost like alternative southern rock with the Okie accent.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you're not trying to be country.
No.
That's just our accent. We're from Oklahoma. I mean, it's funny. I was in a theater play one time, and they were like, I don't know why, but I was playing a cowboy, and I kept trying to do an accent, and they're like, dude, just talk. They're like, you don't even need to do the accent. Just talk. You already have it the way you are. And I was like, well, there you go. I'm your Huckleberry. I didn't have to do anything different. But that's what it is with the red dirt. They're not trying to be Seattle. They're not trying to be, South Texas. We're Oklahoma.
It's Oklahoma. We are. Yeah.
It's really cool. Who's your biggest influence in the red dirt?
Old Cross Canadian Ragweed is, for me, I would say they're the kings of red dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, they just blew out the Stillwater music. Now, there are other legends there, There's too many to count. There's too many to name. But, for me, Cross Canadian Ragweed. And then, the newer artists, they took the Oklahoma influence and then they're like, well, we can do it down here in Texas. And they kind of put their own Texas spin on it, which is, I like it. But, it's not Oklahoma. But, Co Wetzel and Colby Cooper, those Texas guys, I like their music a lot. But, buddy of mine, Trent Fletcher, I met him in Stillwater when we were starting out, and they're touring the country now. They're Red Dirt. I think he's from Fox, Oklahoma, but they formed a band in Stillwater, and he kind of helped me break into the Stillwater music scene a little bit with open mics and all that. But he always had a good saying. It's like the scene might be down there in Texas, but all the talent's in Oklahoma. And I was like, well, that's true. That might be true. Yeah.
If you look at country, even from the traditional roots of country back 50 years ago to today, every generation the best singer comes from Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
In every genre, like they come from Oklahoma.
Iconic singers.
Yeah. I mean, all the way back. The legends. I mean, every legend is from Oklahoma. Now, there's a few from Texas. We got George Strait.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's almost like George Strait's just joining the club in Oklahoma, not the other way around.
Right.
And everybody seems to think, well, Texas and Nashville is the place for country music. I'm like, that might be where they promote them and market them, but they're born in Oklahoma and they're raised in Oklahoma. So it's pretty cool to see that. And even in this Red Dirt, I mean, it's a genre created out of Oklahoma, out of Stillwater. And now it's in Norman. It's everywhere now in Oklahoma. That's really cool. It's cool to be a part of that. So when you write songs, what's the process like as a Red Dirt artist?
Most of my songs, I have to live it to kind of write about it. I'm not very good at thinking up stories and like, oh, that's a cool story, but no, I'm not a very good storyteller. I wouldn't say so. All of my songs are somewhere at some point have happened in my life.
So you're kind of telling us your story,
my story, yeah. But I usually the first thing, if a line comes in, I'll write it down. A cool line can start a great song. It's just like, man, that line just really speaks to me. Or hopefully it speaks to a lot of other people. But I come up with a chorus, and then the song usually gets wrote around that chorus, and but that's usually my process.
The chorus is the banger. I mean, that's what people. Yeah. I always think if you have a good chorus and a good bridge, it takes care of itself. You don't need. I mean, everything else can be done pretty easy. And it's like I said last time. I was like, you identify the emotion. Yeah. What's the need that you needed for that emotion? What action did you take? What result happened, wrong or right?
Right.
And that's a song. Yeah. And typically the answer is wrong. The good ones are the wrong ones. And because that's where you identify, dang, I made that mistake.
Yeah.
I know what you're feeling, bro.
Yeah.
And you have a few songs though I've listened. I'm like, man, I get it, man. Yeah. I get where you've been. I've been in that hole too. Anyone listening, I'm gonna be real. Go out and you can go to I know you're on Spotify. You're probably on YouTube Music, all that.
YouTube, Apple Music, wherever you get it. Not all of our catalogs on Spotify though. Some of the songs aren't out on Spotify, but they're out on YouTube or Apple Music and everywhere else.
And just be careful, women driving their kids right now when you get done watching this, because I know a lot of you guys listen on the way to school, taking your kids. How about this? Wait till you drop the kids off. It's a little PG-13. Well, probably a little more PG-13. Maybe in the light R rated, but I will say, hey, I'm not judging. There's no judgment here. Yeah. Music is expression, metaphor is expression. Don't take people literally when they say they're going to shoot people. They're not really going to shoot them. That's just not that's not what he's doing. It's wonderful though. It's really good stuff. I like the sound. It's got a really good sound to it. What do you think defines Red Dirt? Like, I know Oklahoma, but is there like a
for me, Red Dirt requires a couple of things. You need just a solid drummer. Just a lot of it is kick, snare, hi-hat, and a crash, maybe a tom or two. It's very simple on the drums as far as like a kit built up. Guitars, it's awesome if you have two dueling guitars that can just like a Leonard Skinner duo, but you know, you need those two guitars that just complements each other. You know, one could bring it down when, you know, the other one's filling this, you know, void. But uh, I would say, yeah, simple drums, two guitars, and the vocalist. For me, I like it when they don't sing too pretty. I like when it's kind of soulful and like, man, that voice sounds like it's been through some stuff, you know.
Kind of a garage band sound like
kinda,
that.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, not singing off key, but just you know, a weathered voice. I like that a lot. But and then the bass just four to the floor for me.
So what you're saying is I can't be Red Dirt. I'm silky smooth, Arm. I'm too silky smooth. You got it down though. So growing up in Enid, how did that shape you?
Uh, man, I love Enid. It's very much my hometown. You know, I think everybody has their hometown. There's nothing like it. You know. Yeah. But it, you know, it is very much a community around here. Although, you know, in my formative years before we played Red Dirt, I was really into metal and rock. Mm. And there's not really a good place to play those types of things around these parts. So, you know, early on, we didn't really get the support, it felt like. So we had to travel to like Oklahoma City or Tulsa. But, you know, we started playing Red Dirt and people started listening. So that's more their speed. And it's more slow, you know, slow tempo, relaxing. That's more Enid, you know.
Yeah. Well, Enid's a community that is very much, this is where you want to raise your kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, metal doesn't sometimes go with that picture of let's sit out on a picnic blanket and have
hear somebody screaming in the garage. Yeah.
Next door, a little Metallica.
Yeah.
Well, was it Metallica, Danzig? What'd you play?
Even heavier than those bands.
Tracks. Slayer, Slipknot.
Yeah, more close to that.
Mudvayne.
Yeah. Right, Sevenfold, Slipknot.
Yeah. There you go. Well, here's what I have to say about all the people in Enid. All right, I love them, but the truth is, and I'm gonna quote somebody who is very, very intelligent. They called him the Son of God. Right, his name is Jesus, and he said this: a prophet is never accepted in his hometown.
That's wiser words never spoken.
Yeah. So and it's odd because you hear this about people that crush it, but somehow they're crushing it nationwide, but their hometown's still like, yeah, we don't like them. Yeah. A prophet is never ever, you know, accepted in his hometown, and that's what Jesus said. So I mean, he knows what he's talking about. When did you know you wanted to write or like perform music? When was that moment? Was it like a time where you're like just sitting in your bedroom playing a guitar? You were like, man, I want to do this.
My family's very none of them can play, but they're music lovers. So you know, ever since I was little, we grew up listening to records. My mom, she's a big '80s hair metal person. My dad likes ZZ Top and Leonard Skinner. You know, so just growing up hearing them, I mean, we never went anywhere without blaring the radio, you know, and singing along. So, but for me, what made me want to pick up an instrument is my buddy went over to his house and he's like, man, you got to check out this band. And I heard their guitar player play is Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold. And I was like, you can't do that with guitars. You know, how's he doing that? So I was like, I got to learn how to do that. So
was it hard?
I still can't play it.
No, I mean like playing guitar. Like, was it hard to pick up or?
I'm self-taught. Right. I took a few lessons, and it was just too slow for me. Nothing against the guy that was trying to teach me how to play. He was probably trying to teach me the right way, but I'm just not patient enough to where I gotta know how to do what's on that song, you know. Yeah. So I'll just go teach myself. But,
it's kind of wild. That's what a lot of the really good guitar players say. They're like, you know, I take lessons. I took them, but it was like too slow. Yeah. I'm ready to go. Yeah. I'm ready to have fun. Yeah. And you know, when you start playing heavy metal, holy cow. Yeah. Like you gotta have some fast fingers and a lot of practice. Right. It's not like 3 chords and that's it. Yeah. But wow. How do you balance tradition with originality in your music? Like,
Um,
because it'd be easy to say, let's do it cross Canadian rag we
right.
did. Like, how do you say, okay, well, how can we make ourselves different?
Um, I really don't think we're all that accepted in the red dirt scene here.
Really?
Yeah, I think we're a little too heavy as our metal influences showing because all my band members are metalheads.
Yeah.
But
I don't listen to it and think heavy metal.
yeah, it's I don't know if it's just I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, but
Yeah.
seems to not be catching on like we hope. But
You know, I think you have your own sound.
yeah,
That's kind of what it is. It's like it's not really in a genre. It's just its own thing because I hear the red dirt, but then I hear it go into almost like that. If I mixed it with the 80s with 90s alternative, it's like there's that 80 rock, but that smoothness of the 90s. And
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. I listened to the whole thing front to back, and I was like, "That's pretty awesome. It's really good." So you start with the riff, right? You were like, you get a chorus, then you go with the riff. That kind of makes your
Yeah,
song. What do you think about creating an album? Do you create an album around a riff, a song, an idea? Um,
as far as albums, because I love albums, and people are more prone to put out singles nowadays, which I get it. There is a strategy behind that, and it does work. But I just love albums. I love having a theme for all those songs to kind of circle back, and that is the theme for this album. And I love the cover art of it. I just like looking at the cover art, and it kind of makes me think of like, well, what were the artists thinking when they were like, yeah, this should be the cover art for it.
there is now best cover art. Who do you think best cover art is?
There's too many. There's too many that I love.
If I had to pick two, and they're totally different genres.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tool puts out some of the best cover art.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about it. When you look at it, you're like, it's intelligent yet a little disturbing.
Yeah.
Their videos are that way
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And Coldplay puts out really cool album covers. Back in the day, I mean, like Def Leppard had some really cool looking,
Oh yeah.
But you missed that time where it was like you got to see the cover, like the CD warehouses. There's that I don't even think they exist anymore. But you would go in and you'd flip through and you'd see the albums, you'd see the CD art, you'd see even cassette tapes.
Yeah.
And then you'd open it up and flip it open, and you'd have like the lyric sheet.
Yeah.
And you were like, you could read every lyric.
Yeah.
You could read them like poetry.
Yeah.
And that's interesting too. If anyone's not ever done that, you listen to like Mudvayne, right? I mean, if you do not listen to that type of music and you heard it, you'd probably be like, whoa, I don't know anything he's saying.
Yeah.
Right. But if you read the lyrics, you're like, dude, this guy's he's poetic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called poetic screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but it's really good. But it's
Yeah.
like really cool to open up that album art and see how that's how we miss that today. It's kind of a bummer.
It is a bummer, man. Me and my drummer Chris, like we used to get so excited and go on the weekends down to Hastings back when you could just run in there and we'd have our budget for CDs that week and we'd just go buy whatever.
Is there one you remember buying and being like, dang, that was the best purchase I've made in a long time?
Yes, it was my first Avenged Sevenfold CD that I bought. Yeah, it was an album called City of Evil, but that the cover art, I was just blown away because it was kind of like the Tool thing. It's like, and there's something deeper to this.
Yeah, when you look at it,
but it is a little disturbing. But like, what's this album gonna tell me about this cover art? Like why did they choose this? And the album, I was like, and then the lyrics sheet. I even I forgot about that, but I used to love like ripping out the little covers and just flipping through the lyrics, and you're just like, man.
Well, and people go like when I'll write a song or something, or even a poem or whatever. How do you come up with this stuff? Like they tell me, how do you come up with it? Well, I mean, I did take a lot of English classes when I was in college.
Yeah.
So, but really, I come up with a lot of it because I remember back in the lyric sheets, you could see how words would stick with words.
Yeah.
And you could see how they lined up. Now, I can't remember all of what they, but I remember the words, and like match and hatch.
Yeah.
Oh, how can you make that work? Well, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Match and hatch. I remember seeing that somewhere,
Uh,
and I can write a lyric on those two lines, match and hatch, that fit with the emotion and the need, the action, result.
Yeah.
And again, most of the time, it's a bad result.
Yeah.
That's but and sometimes you get the good results. The love songs. I'm not like the love song person. Like, I know I try, and I'll be real. My wife loves them.
Yeah.
Because she knows they're about her. But I mean, if you get me on the angry side,
Yeah.
it's like 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like, it's just 10 times better writing.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the result is never good.
Yeah.
Like, and people like to watch a car crash more than a miracle.
Yeah, in that song. Yeah.
Like, I mean, you've recently had some car crashes, right? Like,
I don't know.
not real car crashes, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, this next album that we got coming out, there's quite a few of them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we were talking last time. You talked a little bit about you were having a little bit of a drinking problem, and you had to slow it down.
Yeah. Yeah. So our new single, that's our most recent one that we put out. It's called "Can't Slow Down." The cover art for it, I got to give a shout out to my boy Nicky. He kills it every time.
It's a good cover.
Yeah, he's made a lot, and I told him what I want, and it's amazing how he just, like, I'm like, I want this and this and this, and I'll start just rambling on him and send him like a messy paragraph of things I want on this one picture for, to try to encapsulate the lyrics of this song. And he kills it every time, because I told him I want a highway just full of vices, like on the roadside, and then the cars driving through, and he sent back, and I was like, and I've been battling these demons, and this is what the song's about. And then he made the road a stream coming from the whiskey bottle, and then he has all these vices, fast cars, women, smokes and jokes, but yeah, man.
So when you write, they're personal stories.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to name names, but like you write about women sometimes, and so is it the same woman over and over?
If I'm being honest, man, I don't know if it affects everybody like it did me, but that first love is just something, I don't know. It's, you get excited about it and you really care about that person, and she did me pretty dirty, and she has 2 albums wrote about her. So
really? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
this is for you, girl.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
so a lot of them about the same girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Some in between, but yeah, but most of them about one.
Yeah, there's that whole idea that, man, that first one, they can just gut you,
especially when you had like a whole life planned with them, and then they just, all them years and just nothing, so a little bitterness, but I'm learning to let go of it.
Yeah. You got to, man. You have to, because if it'll eat you up inside, that bitterness will eat you up. I'm an example of bitterness eating, and I'm a former pastor. I'll tell you what, bitterness can eat you up.
Oh yeah.
And wanting vengeance can eat you up.
Mm-hmm.
But darn, don't they make good songs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like you don't want to leave that place, because you're like, I'm just crushing it, song after song after song after song.
There's a quote, man, and it kind of lit a fire under me, but the best revenge is to better yourself. And I was like, man, that's pretty good. But yeah, no, I agree with you though. It can, you don't want that to occupy your mind too much. Yeah. It just gets in the way.
He's got good stuff, guys. Like, you need to really check it out. I'm gonna give you a few. Just, there are people out there, they're your fans that are going to be watching this. A couple rapid fire questions.
All right.
What's the best venue you've ever played that you feel? Not, it doesn't have to be prestigious, just where you felt like this was the place.
Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa.
Kane's Ballroom.
There's something about that stage, man. Though there's an energy. It comes up. It's a wood stage, and it's got all. I mean, it's old wood. You got to think about all the legends that have played on that stage,
That's pretty cool.
And it just there's a vibration that comes through the slats of the wood that just it's unreal.
Is there a dream venue?
Yes. Just because it's sentimental to me. I'd like to play, all the famous Oklahoma venues because I've seen so many concerts, like Diamond Ballroom, Zoo Amp, Born and Raised Fest, But my dream, probably, of all venues, just because it's a similar situation for what I've been told, Red Rocks in Colorado. It's beautiful. I don't know if you've seen pictures of it, but it's in a canyon. It's a concert venue in a canyon.
Wow, that would be awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah.
That'd be a cool place as a fan to go.
Yeah.
To go watch.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first album you ever bought?
Yes.
Was it New Kids on the Block?
Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah. Funny enough, it was a Michael Jackson CD.
Which one?
Thriller.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, hey, you got to start somewhere.
I love it.
I can't even remember what was. Oh, I know what mine was. I remember it was the first time I actually purchased, like where I used my own money purchase, was Nine Inch Nails' "Pretty Hate Machine."
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
I bought that one and I listened to it like crazy. And you know what's crazy? I didn't know what half those songs really meant, but man, they sounded awesome.
Yeah,
I was like, these are great.
Yeah.
Today I listened to them and I'm like, ooh, that's a little dark.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Yeah.
I was like, these are awesome.
Yeah.
When you're on stage, do you prefer beer, whiskey, or sweet tea?
Probably beer, but there's something good about sweet tea though too. Yeah, but yeah, you'll probably see me drinking a beer on stage.
Hot summer night, get that sweet tea.
Something. I gotta have me a glass a day at least. Yeah.
If you were to be defined, if you thought, okay, I want people to define me as this sound, one like a word or a description, what would you want them to hear?
I just want my music to help people, man. I've been through a lot of crappy situations, and I just want people to know, you can get through it. And, there's a guy upstairs that can get you through anything.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
True.
And, man, I just want people to, see my experiences or listen to like, hey, man, that kind of happened to me. And then, but there's always somebody to talk to. And he's upstairs and you can talk to him day or night. And, it's, yeah.
Well, and you can get through. And what's really interesting about music is that, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you feel isolated, but when you put on a headphone and you listen to somebody and you listen to what they say and you identify it in that moment, like this is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
You're no longer alone.
Yeah.
You're no longer isolated. You're like, wait, someone else has been through this. And it's crazy because like as someone who likes to write songs, I hear artists sing the songs and it doesn't matter who's singing the song. You know someone wrote it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and somebody wrote that and they meant every single word that they wrote.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if they're good writers, they don't just put stuff together because it rhymes well.
Yeah.
They really sit down and say, I'm going to write something that really matters.
Yeah.
Even if it's catchy. Like, I'll be real. I'll probably catch some like serious trash for what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But Taylor Swift writes some things where I'm like, dang, that girl's bitter. She's mean.
Yeah.
Like she's a mean girl, but she does it in a sweet way.
Yeah.
you're like,
you
dang.
catch yourself singing it in the shower later.
Like, no, I identify with you, Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't say that out loud. Like as a man, I'll get beat. No, is there anybody out there who's like the best writer, like music wise, that you're like when you not best sound, but when you listen, you're like, man, that's some really good writing.
I don't know. He might not be the most known, but man, Chad Solons, um, he's a Stillwater guy.
Really?
Yeah, he is a big influence on me. But man, some of the songs that he has wrote, you think that man would have lived 1,000 lifetimes.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's no longer with us, and it's very unfortunate. But yeah, he has some deep songs. Man.
Say that again.
Chad Solons.
Chad Solons.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to listen to that.
Yeah, Chad Solons and the Last Call Coalition. That's what their band name was called. But he has some songs under his own name, and one I remember my dad bringing it home. He's like, "Yo, listen to my buddy," and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be bad," It's just my dad's friend, But he played me the song. It was called "Whiskey Angels," and oh my god, I was like I think 10 or 11 when I heard it, and I was like over there in the pasture, she like, kind of like, God dang, all right. Yeah.
There's two when I think about it, I think. Well, actually, man, gosh, there's four. There's four, like four that I look at and I think, man, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
From just a lyrical standpoint, Maynard from Tool,
Yeah.
he writes really well. And sometimes his content's a little dark, but it's like you believe him when he writes. Jason Eady out of Texas. I don't know if you know Jason Eady. He's a Texas country singer. Man, there's just something about the way he writes. It's elegant, but at the same time, there's a deepness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm like the only person who cares about this guy. I think he's amazing.
Yeah.
I think he should be. He's getting older now, so his time might be running out. But he's. If you ever want to just check it out, just Jason Eady, listen to him. I mean, he's got a song called "God Fearing Blues," and it's like, man, it's fun, but there's something in it. I got baptized when I was 10. Got a little dirty, so I did it again.
Yeah.
I mean, what? That's a good lyric right there.
Yeah.
He's really really good. But then there's like the Arctic Monkeys.
Oh.
I think they're really good at writing music. Their sounds not exactly what like my favorite, but the writing, like the lyrically, and the Black Keys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with any of those. And then, of course, there are some really hard metal bands that have good writing.
Yeah.
But most people wouldn't appreciate it because they would go listen to it and they'd be like, I don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But that's pretty awesome, man. So Chris or Chad, what was that again?
Chad Solons. Yeah.
Chad Solons. All right. Everybody go out and try to find that. Is it on Spotify?
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there any like influences outside of music that push you to in your career? Like, is there like movies or parent or like drinking games? I'm just kidding.
I mean, I wrote a few songs based off some drinking games, but my dad, man, he loves music, and he's always, anytime I see him, he's always like, "Can we play guitar?" And I'm like, it's like, but no, yeah, my dad's a big influence. My parents, both of them, they're awesome. I think like one of my faults is I'm a people pleaser, and some people think, I think I'm also just needy and like attention, but I like performing, man, and I just like to see the reactions on people's faces when when you sing that song, and then they start singing along with you, or they're moving or nodding their head. I don't know. I just like to create a space for people to escape to.
Will you perform today here?
Sure. Yeah.
Before we perform, every person who comes in that is an artist, a musical artist, even composers, I have them sign my guitar. Do you mind signing the guitar?
Sure, man.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while he's getting ready, he's going to sing the song called Burnout. Tell us a little bit about the song. Yeah.
So Burnout, it's kind of, we were going to call the album Burnout, but, there's a guy, there's an Enid feller that would come to all of our shows, and he's an awesome dude. You might know Mr. Dallas Morris himself. show up in a top hat. You couldn't miss him. So he'd always scream out, "This better be good," when he showed up. So that's what, so that's what the album's called. It's called "This Better Be Good," and it's dedicated to him. So this one's called Burnout. Burnout's just kind of basically my experience in Enid, because I felt like, I didn't really have no place here. And you're just kind of always running around to the next show or whatever. So I hope I don't blow out the mic or whatever. I kind of sing kind of loud. So it goes something like this. Ain't it funny how you go your separate ways? Well, it was fun while it lasted. My days seem to turn to waste. I can't remember the good times, words turn to ghosts on my phone. Now I'm sitting here all alone. No, I needed something new. I'm just a burnout on this town. Just making my way around, trying to get over you. I think I've been rock bottom and it don't feel good. Lonely as ever when it shouldn't feel good. Whiskey don't burn the way that it should. I'm just a burnout. Baby, I'm a burnout. You said I'm always living in the future, but tomorrow never comes. Twisting my words and rumors, well, ain't that a dang shame? I'm spending time drowning sorrow, so busy chasing dreams. Visions, they haunt me like a movie scene. Just sick and tired of living life on repeat. I'm just a burnout on this town. Just making my way around, trying to get over you. I think I've been rock bottom and it don't feel good. Lonely as ever when it shouldn't feel good. Whiskey don't burn the way that it should. I'm just a burnout. Baby, I'm a burnout. I'm just a burnout on the inside. Just making my way around, trying to get over you. I think I've been rock bottom and it don't feel good. Lonely as ever when it shouldn't feel good. The whiskey don't burn the way that it should. I'm just a burnout. Baby, I'm a burnout. Maybe I'm a burnout. Yeah. Baby, I'm a burnout. Yeah, there's burnout. So,
That was pretty awesome.
thank you, man.